Tumepiga drainage the whole weekend. We were doing drainage. So but when it rains during rainy season naikanga raised beds.
Ndio isikuje kuflood now.
Isikuje kuflood. Sinaona kama for example pale imeaffectiwa.
Zile haziko raised? Okay. So with time you continue.
Now the rainy season is going, so we are gambling.
Mna manage tu venye iko. So let's talk about a bit of soil preparation or the land preparation when it comes to French beans.
Okay, so day one, now land preparation, you found it, it's unprepared.
Yes, it's bare.
So it's bare, we come, tunalima, we prepare the whole land. Then we put manure. Then now we mix with manure sasa ile ya ng'ombe. So tunakuja tuna mix. Then tunaweka the drip lines. If you are not doing beds, if it's a flat area, we just do the drip lines kawaida. If it's raised beds, now we measure. There's a measurement we do for the beds.
For the beds, each bed.
Because from here to there it's equal measurement of beds. So we raise.
Okay.
Then from there we plant. There is how we plant. The spacing is around 10 meters.
From one seed to another? Okay. All right. So easy, do people need to... can you propagate French beans?
No.
You need
sijasikia.
So you need seeds. So nikienda kununua seeds, how much is a seed?
Now, okay, they sell in 100,000 seeds.
100,000
it's packaged like that, so it's around 20 to 25,000, depends on the variety.
Oh, because the different varieties of...
Now like this one is Teresa.
Oh, Teresa. Okay, so kuna Teresa.
Kuna Teresa, kuna vanilla, kuna star, kuna mingi.
Oh, there are many.
Now it depends on what the client, because some clients say French beans ziko too green. Sijaelewa hiyo whatever, but
yes. Oh, so there are types of French beans. Si ati venye tunafikirianga ni one peke yake. Why is there a reason why mnafanya Teresa? Is it because of, as you said, the market also?
This one does. It's more resistant here. It's more resistant to downy mildew.
Like to diseases, and inaweza survive.
Okay. Then it flowers. It has a very beautiful flower.
So would I be able to tell between Teresa and any other, like in terms of how it looks? Am I quick to notice that, or it's through the French bean itself?
You will okay, for Teresa and vanilla there is no much difference. But for Teresa and star the star is very green.
Oh, hiyo ndio sasa unasema wapendi
iko na chlorophyll mob sana.
Okay. All right. You are touched on manure. Ulikuwa umesema manure. Now, of course uko na dairy. Hapo ndio manure inatoka. So do you make your own manure through the whole compost process?
I just leave it kawaida. I turn it now for around 3 months. Then it is ready for...
It's ready.
Do
you add anything to it? Inakuanga tu mostly manure. Manure peke yake.
So ile kitu tunawekanga accelerate decomposition ni lava. Lava ya hizi butterflies.
Oh, the lava. Yes, the lava.
So in accelerate the decomposition.
Okay. So after that's done, unakuja kwa land, una prepare, you put your beds if you're putting them, unaweka drip.
Before that, nikilimia, sasa before nike drip ndio naweka hiyo manure.
Unaweka manure kwanza?
Na mix na mchanga, then arrange the drip line.
Yes, then so unaenda kuweka the seeds. Okay. So in terms of water, jusena kuna drip, kukinyesha. Do you really use much of drip, especially now when it's raining?
When it's raining, hata disconnect, so situmiagi sana. Unless akujanyesha in a span of 2 days.
Okay. And now for the French beans, because the number of, I mean, the period of time it's taking is very short. Most of the crops zinakwanga way above, months away. What type of disease really attacks French beans yenye inaweza kuja as a loss to a farmer?
Like last time, I was really affected by thrips. Thrips ni mdudu ndogo sana.
Mdogo, mwenye anauma leaves?
Nakuja ikiuma hapa, ikiuma
the bud.
Yeah, the bud.
Yeah.
It kills the process of fruition.
Of fruition, yeah.
Yeah, so kulikuwa na outbreak ya thrips that between January February. So that there is thrips, there is aphids.
Yes, aphids is kwanza.
But thrips is my major because unajua pale nilikuwa nimepanda kitunguu, so I think zilitoka kwa kitunguu. Zikakuja. Because nini zikile eggs kwa mchanga zinangojeaga.
Ukileta sasa ni plant zinaanza sasa ku thrive. Okay.
Yeah, then there is rust. There is what? There is spider mites. There is bean fly. Yeah, so there are a lot of
ninis that come and attack them. So now, the minute they attacked, do we resort to spraying? Ama if a certain number of them are affected, tunazitoa?
Okay, it depends. Now, like for I have a spray program.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily I have to spot it. I just prevent.
Yeah.
So when I'm planting, the first week I spray for bean fly. Because ndio siume root, because bean fly ni ya root.
Ina attacking root. Okay.
Then the second week I spray maybe aphids and spider mites.
Yeah.
But usually I have a marker which shows me which mdudu is
currently, and that's why you need the team sasa kuspot, because I mean having such land huwezi enda peke yako ati mtu mmoja. Okay.
So nafanyanga hiyo scouting, tunafanya hiyo scouting like the third day after spraying.
The third day after spraying.
Yeah. Okay. Tunafanya hiyo scouting, tunakuja tunaangalia saa hii imekufa, what are we going to Yeah. But there are some you can't really control because ni food chain. So vitu kama white flies hawezi control sana because unaona kama pale niko na nyasi.
Huko.
So na nikispray hapa zinaenda zinajificha huko. Zikingojea imekuwa mild zinarudi.
Okay. So the spray program runs for how long?
Until harvest.
Until harvest. So every time.
So there's a spray program because now I use there's a foliar spray program.
Okay.
So there's a foliar spray called starter. Foliar is just like fertilizer.
Yes.
So there's a foliar called starter. There's that was the first 2 weeks of germination. Then after that I moved to vegetative. That is the vegetative stage.
Yes.
Then now zikikuja kutoa hii bud ndio na kingine ito fruit and flower. So hiyo sasa nimepiga dawa nyingine, nimechange dawa pia. Yeah.
Okay. So this particular program, is it an agronomist anakusaidia?
Yes. The place I export to is called Kandia. So they have an agronomist who comes to check on the because kuna zile dawa pia zinatakikana kupigwa.
Okay.
Majuu amekataa, watu wa ng'ambo wamekataa. So there are those recommended sprays. I just don't spray anything. Yeah. So I have to consult regularly.
Okay. Yeah. Question, do you believe that French beans can be grown organically, like without the sprays?
Yeah. Anything can be. You see now, it depends. But there is nothing that is 100% organic. There is nothing.
So naambia watu na grow organic hakuna 100%.
Hakuna.
Really? Yes. So you're sure kuna kitu wanekanga?
Organic ni marketing gimmick.
Are you trying to say that there are farmers out there wamesema wanafanya all organic?
Hakuna mtu anafanya 100%.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But it can.
Yeah.
Nimeona mtu anafanya.
Yes.
But si 100%.
Okay.
Because kuna saa ingine organic whatever mode in a fail, you have to use chemical.
Okay, sawa. We'll be right back after the break.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water.
But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV 47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size.
Welcome back. We're talking about French beans, and Ian mentioned that he doesn't believe that organic is 100%.
Yeah.
You don't believe that?
I don't believe 100%, especially for, maybe it can be 100% if ni mutu the shamba was not used for anything.
So if it was virgin land.
It has never seen DAP, it has never seen CN, and that guy implements manure and natural ways of controlling pests.
Yeah.
But this is where the catch is. If the natural ways fail, he resorts to going to the agrovet to buying what? Pest.
So he wouldn't tell us.
So he won't tell us that. Yeah. Okay. So for me, and for what I know, from what I've experienced, what I've seen it is 80-20, 80% organic, 20% inorganic. Okay. You cannot do without chemicals. You can't. Yeah.
Sawa, tumemaliza hiyo kesi basi.
But ati mtu akwambia analipa 10 acres of organic. It's a lie. It's a marketing gimmick.
So
lakini msinipige sana.
So now we get into the harvesting bit of French beans. Take us through that process, what it's like. Nitajua ni saa ngapi ku harvest. Of course, with the normal checks and you having a team, depending on the size of your land, you'll know ni wakati wa kuvuna.
Okay. Normally where export to, where the company export through.
Yes. The company said inaitwa
Candia Fresh Produce. Yes. There are levels of beans. Kuna fine na extra fine. Okay. Fine ni ikiwa ndogo sana, kidogo medium. Kuna nini? Kuna ingine medium before ianze kuseed.
Okay.
Yeah. So wanatakanga between fine na extra fine.
Okay. Okay.
So mi prefer kupeleka extra kupeleka fine because iko na kilo.
Iko na kilo or more than the
extra fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So tukuje kwa shamba. Kabla hata tufiki huko kwa Candia. How is the process kwa ground?
Okay. So next week it will start flowering. Yes. No, actually not next week, this week.
We'll start tumefika around 50 something days, 40 something.
Around 38.
38. So it will start flowering that early.
Yeah. Okay. Because it can flower. Why I'm saying the 52 day is because weather will change. So kukakwa baridi. When it's cold, some activities they're slower. Okay. Because hakuna jua, so hakuna chlorophyll feeding program
reduce in a slow down. So does that mean before we get into that, does that mean that French beans will grow better in an area that's sort of hot compared to the cold areas? Like French beans Nyeri. Of course, it affects the size, the fine and extra fine part.
It would, but now again irrigation, if there's no water, it's hot. Why are you growing and you don't have water? Because inatakanga maji. Inatakanga maji mingi sana.
Inatakanga maji nyingi. Okay, sawa. So sasa tukuje haya kwa ground sasa. Today is the 30 something day and start flowering this week.
Yeah, this week it will start flowering. So probably next week but one, end of next week but one, zitaanza kupod. Next week zitaanza kupod.
Okay.
So the other week I should be starting to harvest.
Wow. Okay. So the minute you harvest, because now we can't see any that's bado iko kwa hiyo stage. The minute you pluck, because there's a way also here, there's a way you pluck it. Will there be more
regrowing? No, now what happens when it flowers majorly. So this will be the first place to be harvested. The top one. Hizi za kwanza mbili. So hizi zingine ndio zitaendelea kupod. So I'll harvest like maybe around 4 times depending on
4 times. Nice. Okay. 4 times. 4
times, that is every week. That's almost a whole.
Every week 4 times?
No. Once, like twice a week.
Twice a week. Okay. Okay. So now, then hizo ni French beans nyingi?
Depending pia na vile imetunzwa.
Imetunzwa, yeah.
Because pia kuna zile sasa tukitoka hapa kwa harvesting tuna grade tena. Kuna ile iendagi. Kuna ile iendagi. Ili fail test. Because wanatakanga ikiwa straight. Because zinekangwa kwa panet. So zikiwa so kuna ile haezi ingia. Then kuna ile size pia haezi ingia kwa panet.
Okay. So how many tons do you expect?
For this, I'll give you estimates for an acre.
Okay, an acre, yes.
Yeah, an acre, the lowest it will give you is around 3 tons.
3 tons, okay.
The highest it will give you is all the tons.
All the tons, okay. How much have you guys, what's the highest ton and lowest ton for you with this farming?
Okay, there are times the first harvest inatoanga 1 ton. The first harvest. So by the time iishe, nimefikisha almost 10.
10 tons? Okay.
So kuna
ina vary.
Ina vary.
Okay.
But sasa sijaifanya planting kama hii yote. Mi hufanya benches. Okay. So the whole actually my first crop nimepanda almost an acre. This is an acre actually.
This from there to pale? Yeah. Okay. And you hapo unaweza toa 10 tons? Hapa
nitatoa. Inaweza fikisha.
Inaweza fikisha but it shouldn't be less than 3.
It shouldn't be less than 3.
Yeah. Okay. So the minute it's okay, how is that process now in terms of price also? Especially because
price now, actually COVID is the one that had messed us up kidogo because of markets abroad. You see now when the malls aren't open, so wamepunguza tonnage ile wanachukua na price ikashuka because sasa wame resort to other veggies. Yeah, so price mbaya, it can go as low as 40 or 30 shillings per kilo to a high of 200 per kilo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mentioning that COVID has affected this production, meaning that you guys are doing this for export.
Yes.
Why local? Is there any that's going to local? Or?
Yeah, the rejects I do local. Okay. But the local market isn't lovely.
To French beans.
Yeah, because people are just
French beans umezoea beans zingine but si easy. Okay. For a farmer who would like to also do French beans, would like to go the export side because your side ndio iko na dough, how exactly do they get into that space, especially because you talked about the company Kandia that's helping you out? Yeah.
It's not hard. You just have to meet some requirements.
Like which ones?
Land. You have to have land. You have to have water. You have to have labor. Yeah.
Okay.
Then now you sign a contract with them. Yeah.
Okay. And then that now you'll be able to work with them in terms of even someone, an agronomist coming in to check also. Okay.
Because they have to make sure you're meeting the standards. There is a standard called global gap. Global gap. So it is a set of rules. You're not supposed to spray this chemical. You're not supposed to treat your. It has many things. Workers' welfare.
So everything. Yeah. So if you're planning to get into this, lazima ukue, and you're planning to export, you have to be ready to meet those demands or other requirements. So the standard is also good because then they're also thinking about hizo French beans venye zitatokezea. So do you think it's a good business in terms of it being export?
I'm here.
You're here.
So it's not bad. You have just to be resilient in this because sometimes it really messes you up.
Like how?
There can be an outbreak of anything. Ikuje tu ifanye kufagia. And you have losses. Yeah. Now like last time I had losses of French beans because of rust and thrips. Yeah, there are things, they are just...
Ni ile kawaida.
It's business. There are upsides, downsides. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any disadvantages apart from the ones you've mentioned about the rust? Is there any other disadvantage of growing this crop?
Disadvantage.
Saa zingine uko like, ama niibadilishe.
Saa zingine bei inakuanga mbaya.
So cost.
So unapata cause unapata umepanda ulikuwa cause kama like last year when COVID was coming, prices were supposed to go until around 200 bob, 300 bob. And things were there was no cargo movement.
Things were tough.
Yeah. So nikapata ile bei yangu ya 50. Na nikasema well, because now you have to understand how they have to make their cut, they have to make.
So ni kuvumiliana tu. Inakuanga hivyo. There is no plant that is success atakupea 100%. Okay. Lastly, let's do an approximate of an acre like this French beans. Sasa umeweka drip, umeweka seeds.
They vary, They vary because fertilizers. Okay, I'll give you cost in cost of fertilizer.
Okay, like that.
Yeah, 2 bags. 2 bags of DAP. 2 bags of 1 bag of CN, 1 bag of NPK. Okay. 17. So the bags of NPK and CN, I cut na nusu na mix.
Unazimix pamoja.
So nakatanga hiyo cost.
Na hizo bei hizo fertilizer inakuanga around.
Fertilizer sahi DAP is going for around 3.5.
3.5. Then CN?
And CN is going for around 2,900.
900. Okay.
NPK is going for 28.50.
28.50.
So the whole thing I've used plus labor plus that will be around 20 Gs somewhere. Yeah. Then plus fertilizer, plus foliar, the small things.
The seeds and you'll embed that tree.
Now plus seeds, plus seeds is around 60.
60.
Because seeds are around 25, 24. Yeah. This one I bought 24,000.
24,000. And then of course kuna kuanga na ile cost ya drip.
Yeah. So how I drip nileka kitambo isha rudi. So how I cut costs kama ile ilikuwa imegonjeka nilikata hiyo harvest nika harvest seeds. So sahi the next planting sitaenda kununua seeds.
Utaenda kwa zile. Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
You can stop the...
Yeah. mpaka ikuwe na seeds.
Utanionyesha. Okay.
So, kuna hiyo process tunafanyanga, tunapiga hiyo seed.
So unatumia hizo seeds sasa?
Naeka dawa tu. Then
okay. Sawa. Thank you. At least tumeelewa French beans. Hata kama si wengine tuna consumingi French beans locally, we know they're mostly for export. Okay. Sawa. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sasa tuende tuone hiyo place ya ku grade.
Hiyo place ya ku grade.
Sawa. So tumekuja kwa the extraction place where you talked about the French beans that weren't doing so well, and ukasema you can extract the seeds from them. Yeah.
Yes, so hiyo tunafanyanga ku save on buying the seeds.
Yeah.
Actually hata zile zikamaliza production yake na ziendelee kunini, I can save them for seeds again.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we harvest, I mean after now the harvest, kawaida tunazipianga kwa ng'ombe, the leaves.
Yeah.
Zina increase production.
Okay.
But sasa ile sana nataka kukati hiyo cost ya kubuy seeds. I dry them.
Yeah.
Then naziweka mahali tunapiga. Tunapiga from this.
Waso inakauka hivyo.
Inakauka hivi. So tunatoa the seeds from this.
Kutuonyesha niko nayo hapa. Then now you take these seeds na unaanza kuzisasa.
Sasa hizi naziweka kwa dawa kwanza.
Kwa dawa, yes.
Yeah. To kill the weevils nini, and for ni storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ian, for taking us through the whole process ya French beans. Hadi penye you can still use seeds to plant again. Yeah. Sawa. Remember to catch us next week, same time but a different place, right here on Kilimo Diaries.
We value your feedback.